Well, good morning, Mavericks. This is Rob Reinhold, and this is the US Payroll Report. We are due out here in about 10 minutes. It's the first of the year, January 6th. Let's get into it. Okay, let's talk about the estimates here. The estimates for the non-farm payrolls is 200,000 jobs. I think, look, that number is probably going to be pretty close. I think the real number we want to watch for is the unemployment rate. The unemployment rate of 3.7, it's been stuck there. The Fed has been very clear. They want to see this around 4.3%. If that number doesn't go up, I think the market isn't going to like it. If we get a 3.8, 3.9, I actually could see the market getting a little bit of a rally. But if we're at 3.7 and the number is close to 200,000, it's probably fairly bearish for the market overall. But let's talk about trading these news reports. Again, there's three things we can do. We can trade before, we can enter before the report. That is the most risk and the most reward. I am not going to be doing that in this session. We can enter on the news. It's where you've got an order already out before the news comes out and you're trying to catch the trade right when the news comes out. I'm not going to be doing that either. We're going to be doing a second stage. At least I'm going to be doing a second stage here, which is where we're going to let the move happen. And then we're going to try to catch that second stage after it. For the last three jobs reports, we've had really nice trades. And what we've done is we've faded the rally. I'm looking to do the same thing today. So let's talk real quickly about why we need to be very cautious around these news reports, because we can get big slippage. Stops can get slipped. Now what that means is that you might have a stop out there at 183.10. If we get a big rally, it's going to blow right through there. You may not get filled till 183.50, maybe even 184. So these markets can move very, very quickly when we have these news reports. We also can get whipsaw action, where you get in, you put in a stop. You can see that this kind of whipsaw action knocks out everyone. Everyone gets stopped out. It doesn't matter if you're long or short, both sides. So this is why I like, in this kind of news report, to do a second stage entry where we're just going to be catching it after it moves. So let's jump into the market and let's take a look at where we stand here. First thing I want to take a look at is the futures. All right, the futures, I'm going to jump in here. Let's take a look at the futures. And we've got the S&P futures. They're down about 1/3%. NASDAQ futures are down about 0.75%. So we've got futures here that are on the weak side going into this meeting. If we come over here to the currencies, we're going to see that the dollar is the strongest currency right now. We are looking to play the dollar. And again, you can be long or short. The question is, okay, what position do we want? I am still looking at a short dollar trade. We have this daily chart that is in a downtrend. And you can see that anytime we have a rally, it was a good time to short dollar. Now look, it might not be a good time to short dollar on a rally. We might actually get a trend change. But until that happens, I pretty much have to say that the daily chart on the dollar is telling me to sell rallies. Telling me to sell rallies and to be short. However, there's no question that right here, right now, the dollar is going higher. It's on a rally. There's no question. But are we going to hit this resistance level and bounce down? Possibly. We don't know that. That's why we trade. That's why we do it. We're going to be setting up a trade here. So I think we could even see all the way up to this 50-period moving average. Again, this is the dollar basket, so that's going to be about 60 pips on this. That's going to be about another 0.5% to get up to that point. This is what I'm looking at here is the dollar. We could have a little bit more rally, but I'm really looking to sell dollar up a little bit higher. This is what we've done over the last couple meetings, is let this dollar bounce, and then we've faded the dollar rally. So the question is, what do we trade it against? The weakest currency right now is the yen. I like this pairing. Now, I've been trading dollar yen quite a bit. For the last, maybe 2-3 years, dollar yen has not been a trade I've taken a ton. But over the last 3 months, I've been trading dollar yen almost I'd say 50, 60% of the time. So let's take a look at dollar yen. Here's the daily chart, and you can see dollar yen also on a little downtrend. Lower lows. Every time it rallies, it's a good time to sell it. Every time it rallies, we don't know if this is going to be the same. We have no idea if this might be the bottom of this last little trend. We might rally all the way up. But like I said, I'm a trend trader. I've been trading for over 25 years. I know that when you trade with the trend, trading is a lot easier than trading against the trend. I am definitely looking to sell dollar here, sell dollar yen. But as you can see here, when we take a look at all of the time frames, this thing is ripping higher. So right here, right now, this currency pair is moving higher. I need to wait for this to reach some certain levels or to break before I even get into it. If I'm looking to be short dollar yen, like I said, it's right here, right now. There's no question that the supply and demand is to the upside. I'm going to have to wait for this to break a little bit. So I'm not going to be ready right off the bat. I want to see this thing. I really want to see this thing pop off of this. We go to an hourly chart. I really want to see this thing have a nice little pop on the news. And then I want to take a position here. Okay, so we're about 3 minutes away from our report. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Any other pairs you want to take a look at. I know that probably have a couple people wanting to take a look at dollar CAD. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump on that one right away. Boy, dollar CAD looks about the same. As you can see, we've got a big run. Now, dollar CAD might look even a little bit better because we do have some overhead resistance here. So if someone was really looking to be short dollar, you could definitely look at it against CAD. I'm going up against the yen because dollar yen has been really negatively correlated. We've seen the biggest moves in dollar yen, and when I trade, I'm always trading for the biggest move. I trade a lot less than other Forex traders, but when I do trade, I'm looking for at least a % move, at least a %. So I'm looking for the big move, so I'm going to focus on dollar yen. But to me, dollar CAD looks very possible here for a trade. No question about it. All right, I do have a question about Aussie dollar. Okay, Aussie dollar. I don't really love this one because I think this one is kind of flying in the face of you're going against a lot of currents here. And what I mean by that is that the equities are weak. And if equities are weak and stay weak, this is not the right one to be in. So here is the hourly chart here. And you can see that there hasn't been a lot of movement. There hasn't been any trend here in Aussie dollar for about the last 5 or 6 days. So for me, this one just doesn't look all that appealing. I guess if the dollar weakens, the Aussie's probably going to strengthen a bit. For me, I'm just really focused here on dollar yen. Now, the problem here with dollar yen is that I'm looking at these charts and I'm saying, okay, where is resistance? Where is this going to run into resistance? And I'm really having a hard time here because we did just break through some resistance. We broke through this resistance, and I guess I could find another one here at 135, 130, maybe the high 134s. You know, we're kind of right here in this no man's land to where if I had a better area, I would say, hey, I want to have an order ready to go right at 135. I don't have that here. I just don't have it. So I want to let this thing, again, I hope this thing rips higher. And if this thing rips higher, I'm going to put out an order underneath the market. And then if it sells off, I'm going to catch this trade to the downside and see where it goes. Okay, we are literally about 30 seconds away from our report here. I'm going to go to a shorter time frame just so we can see some price action. Now, one of the things I used to do is I used to turn off all news sources. All news. I used to watch the news when it hit CNBC and say, oh, this is the number. I'm going to react to what I hear on the TV. I realized that was wrong. I want to just turn off everything. And that's what I used to do. I used to turn off all news sources, turn off everything, and literally just have a chart. That's it. Just a chart in front of me. And just traded purely off of the chart. So that's what we're going to do here. All right. We are getting a dollar sell-off. Now I'm going to go check the news, but most of the time I didn't check the news until I was done with the trade because I didn't want my perception of the number to cloud what was happening on the screen. So right here, the initial move here is a slight sell-off in dollar. I'm going to go ahead and check the numbers here, just really to have something to chat about. All right. Ooh, that is a nasty number. Unemployment rate goes down to 3.5%. Wow. Cannot believe that. New jobs, 223,000 were created. Now, this is actually surprising. I thought, well, again, let's take a look at other pairs because we're looking at dollar yen. This is a risk off move, but boy, the market is liking this number. That is actually surprising to me. The market likes this number. We are trading up on the futures. Very surprising. Yeah, I'm just going to be checking some other news sources to see if maybe I'm missing something here. But the headline numbers to me, they look quite bearish for the markets. But equities, as you can see, equities are trading up on the news. It's very surprising to me. So this is where a lot of times you show up to these events and you say, boy, that's everything that I thought was going to happen didn't happen. And this is where you can just walk away. You can walk away and say, okay, we didn't catch one this time, that what we planned on didn't happen. Let's wait and see. But this is where there's no reason to just click a button for the sake of clicking a button. If what you thought was going to happen doesn't happen, just walk away. Just walk away. We've got next week. We've got next month. We've got a lot of nexts in our trading career. As you can see here, the trade here is a dud. Dollar yen hasn't really moved anywhere. Let's check in on dollar CAD because we also had Canadian employment. All right, so we're seeing a little bit of selling off against the CAD as well, but this, like I said, I'm looking for like a 1% move. This is not a 1% move. This is like a 0.4% move. Looking for something a little bit bigger here. Very surprised that equities are trading higher here on this news. Very surprised. All right, well, look, my premise is not going to happen. Definitely not going to happen. So I am not going to try to change my premise. What I used to do as a young trader is then I would look at everything and change what I was going to do and then make a trade. Now, look, I was just looking for a reason to make a trade. That's it. I showed up in the morning. I said, hey, I'm going to make a trade. What I thought was going to happen didn't happen. So then I quickly reframed what I thought was going to happen and clicked a button just for the sake of clicking a button. I'm very happy that I do not do that anymore. I don't do that anymore. So if it doesn't work out, I can just walk away. All right, we are getting a little bit of sell-off here in the futures. So the futures are selling off a little bit. Let me go back to trading view here. But we got that pop in the futures. You can see we're starting to sell it back down here. I originally thought when I saw these numbers that was a really bad report for the market and the market wouldn't like it. But the market doesn't do exactly what I want it to do all the time. It actually never does what I want it to do. It does its own thing. So here we are. We had a stronger than expected job report. The markets, equity markets, like the news for some reason. And dollar has sold off a tiny bit. And that's about it. All right, look, I'm going to wrap this up. I usually sit around for a while and we look for a trade, but this one has completely gone against my premise to the point where I'm scratching my head. I'm just going to walk away. That's the great thing about trading. You don't have to swing the bat. You can just take the ball. Just take a ball and wait for the next pitch. And that's going to be next week for me. So thanks for joining me, everyone. Everyone take care and have a good weekend. Goodbye.